Have you ever wanted to try sublimation, but you don't want to invest in a sublimation printer? Well, Nancy with Sweet Traditions has figured out a way how. Nancy uses her Ikonart Stencils to apply the image instead of using a sublimation printer, and here's exactly how she does it.
Okay, this is how I did my sublimation mugs. First and foremost, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need some laser paper and some butcher paper, a sublimation mug, some sublimation ink, your Ikonart stencil, a paintbrush, and a mug press, or you can do this in a convection oven. Just look for a tutorial on YouTube. You can use a sponge. I did use a sponge on my first one and it came out fine. You just have to be careful not to saturate it because it'll bleed. The paper will bleed underneath. This one I used my airbrush, which went a whole lot faster. I just airbrushed my design on, used the sublimation inks. They work just like watercolor paints. The only downside is you have 4 colors: the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So any other colors you will have to mix, which is not a big deal. There's plenty of tutorials online. You can look and find out ways on how to do that. So all I did was I used my inks like a coloring book, and I painted all of my flowers in varying shades of green and yellow and pink and purple, and just painted the whole thing in. Now, one note on the copy paper, it does say laser inkjet paper on some brands, so you just want something that has a brightness of 97 to 100, and it will show that on the label. The butcher paper we're going to use to protect our mug press. Now, on my airbrushed one, I did have a little bit of overspray, so I trimmed that off. And what I'm going to do is use some heat-resistant tape. I'm going to snugly tape my design with the design facing the mug. And then I'm going to take my butcher paper, tape that over my design, again, snugly taping it on. The butcher paper will prevent any ink bleed onto my press. I'm just making sure it's tight. You can tape the bottoms if you want to. I just put it in my mug press, and I'm going to let it run its course for the full setting. And then we'll take it out. Just remember that when you take your mugs out, they'll be really, really hot. So my mug is super hot except for my handle. So I'm using some tweezers. I'm just going to pull off the tape and reveal the design underneath. This goes really fast, guys. I really like it because unlike some other ways of doing mugs, there's not any raised edges on these mugs. I've run a couple in the dishwasher several times, and they've done really nicely. So that's how I did it.
Wow, Nancy, thank you so much for that tutorial. I absolutely love how your mugs turned out. They are beautiful. This is a technique I've never tried before, would have never even thought of this, and I just absolutely love how these mugs turned out. They are beautiful. The colors are nice and bright. They pop, they're completely permanent, and I just love them. They're gorgeous. So thank you so much, Nancy. My name is Fawn, and I share tips and tricks on how to make and use Ikonart stencils. If you liked this tutorial from Nancy, but you want to know more about how to actually make the Ikonart stencils, check out this video right here. And also make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we upload.